Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to It Takes a Village podcast. My name is Lorenzo Evans, and my lovely co-host Ariana Turner. How everybody doing today? How you doing?
And highly favored.
All right. Now we're gonna have some fun today. As always, we always like to bring on a guest that's gonna bring something to the village, something that's gonna enlighten, encourage you. And today we have a spectacular guest. I'm so excited. I've known her for quite a few years, and it's very seldom that you can meet a person that's real all the way through and through. And so I'm just so thankful, so excited. Like I say, today we're gonna have fun. We're gonna be laughing and stuff as usual, cutting up. But there's a lot of information that's getting ready to come forth. So I hope everybody is ready. So without any further ado, we're gonna present to some and introduce to others our guest, Angie Bateman.
Good evening. Good evening. Hey, Lorenzo,
Welcome.
Ariana. How you doing?
Happy to have you.
Good.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
just so excited to have you on today.
yes. I'm excited to be here to be a part of It Takes a Village because it truly takes a village.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think with what you are doing, we really gonna see the importance of that. So
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. So again, like I say, we're getting ready to have some information, y'all, that's coming. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. You're going to be so thankful that you tuned into this now or later. So this information is definitely something that we need it. We need it. So I'm very excited about having Angie. Like I say, I call her Pastor Angie because that's what she's always been to me as long as I've known her. So, but definitely she's more than that. She's always been a friend. So I'm always excited to bring friends and family. When friends become family, then you really have something that's special.
Yes.
So
Yes. We're family.
excited with that.
Yes.
Okay, Ariana.
Yes. Well, it's my pleasure to get to introduce to the village Pastor Angie. And you guys, it's always for me, always sweet to be around her energy, her presence. As you see, the smile is golden and that shines, it just allows the light of God to shine through. And so I just want to take a moment and share with the village how God's light has shined on Pastor Angie Bateman. Now, Pastor has been a member of the Clayton County community for well over 20 years and has been a strong silent advocate. Like her presence speaks before she walks in the room. And in so, humbly though, she stays humble, y'all guys. And that's why her presence precedes her because she will not do it herself. She serves in leadership humbly in Christian ministry in many of areas since 1993 and has had the skills and developed into teaching, into ministry. She's just able to captivate and share her view of this wonderful world and be able to share that with others. Recently, since COVID, the pandemic of COVID in 2020, February, Miss Bateman actually became the sole caregiver of her mother. And what we get to share in today's story in our village is how that has transformed the service and some new resources that our village now has at hand, thanks to Pastor Angie. So I want to open up the floor. There's so much for the villagers to know about you. And I know today we're going to focus on your ministry and your platform. But I want to open it up for you to share with the village just a little bit of just the specialness of who you are.
Well, first of all, a servant, of course, of our Lord and Savior. And, I strongly believe that our work is not over until we take our last breath. So I'm like ready to do whatever it takes to change our community. And what happened with this organization, of course, you all know that it was birthed because I had to take care of my mom. And it truly takes a village to do that. And there's a lot of things that I can share. I'm not sure how far we can go or how detailed we can go into it, but I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready. And I think all the skills that I've gained through ministry, through work in the community, helping my mom firsthand, and also joined Alzheimer's Foundation, Alzheimer's awareness, and became a facilitator for them as well during this process. So I'm excited. Got a lot to share and a lot to do.
Yes. Now I know that we want to spend some time sharing the creation of C.O.L.A. If you could tell the village what C.O.L.A stands for and a little bit about what the mission of C.O.L.A is.
Okay. So first of all, COLA, Circle of Life Awareness, COLA, our circle. There's in this circle, there's Alzheimer's, there's people, there's groups, there's support groups, um, legal groups in this community. So and in this community as well, we have our parents, we have our children, and with that, like my mom took care of me, and then in this circle had to turn around and take care of my mom, but in that circle we gained strength, and I used the phoenix bird on my website, because it gives us strength and renewal and rebirth. So that's why we use the phoenix bird in our logo that we have. But in taking care of my mom, I saw the need in the Black community. Unfortunately, it's underrepresented when it comes to support for the caregivers, support financially, always, even knowledge. It was so hard for me to find the support that I needed. I had to go on websites to look for information, to gain information. And then most of it was just hands-on. You learn by doing. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened as I was taking care of my mom. I learned by doing, and I found a lot of things, became like a VA specialist when it came to getting benefits. So that was a good thing. That's how it was birthed. I didn't have that platform. I didn't have that support. So I had to create it through C.O.L.A for our Black community.
Now, we talked a little bit about it, Pastor, last weekend with our last guest about just the mindset of really accepting and preparing for long-term care, or that, end of life preparation. And for us as individuals, it takes us a minute to even come to that conversation. So could you share with the village why it is, maybe even some of the hardships of having to face that with your mother or your father, a parent?
Mm-hmm. So when my mom first got diagnosed, she said to me and my sister, please don't put me in a nursing home. And as time went on and it got worse, where she left her house and ended up in the wintertime at a neighbor's house, hand frostbitten. So she had to go to the hospital, the burn unit. And then my sister took her in. And so my sister had stairs, so she really couldn't take care of my mom for the duration. So I decided, since we promised that we wouldn't take you to a nursing home, I'm going to bring you to Georgia. And in that preparation time, I had a lot of good friends who had lived it with like two of my coworkers. One took care of her dad, one took care of her granddad. So they told me everything I needed to do before mom came. And I don't know if you guys can see in back of me, but over, not that side, this side right here, there's a little black knob at the top of my door.
Can you see it? Yeah, I see it.
And that was like a security lock for mom, so she couldn't get out of the house. And one thing that my coworker told me, she said, well, make sure you have security locks and put it at the top, because the mindset of the patient is to reach, at waist height to open the door. She won't think about looking up to open the door. So I put those on all the outside doors. So we prepared for that. They told me all the things that was going to happen, the situations, legal, what I needed. I needed a legal will. I needed a POA. I needed all the medical forms when I brought mom here. So I prepared all that. So like I said, I had a good group of friends that kind of coached me along the way before mom got here. And so we got that solidified. And she came, and it was a challenge, but it was a good challenge because you have to have patience and change your mindset, your thought process. And one thing my friend always told me, she said, you got to remember, it's not her, it's the disease, it's the symptoms of the disease that's affecting her brain. So you got to go along with the program. And so going along with the program, I became the actress. I became the leading cast member in our household when it came to dealing with mom, because I had to act like I was in her world. I'd be like, yes, come on, let's do this. And then, even when she wanted to go get her kids, sometimes I let her out the house. Come on, let's go get them babies, the babies that she was looking for. We don't expect those things to happen to our parents. I never thought that I was going to end up taking care of my mom. We just think they're going to live forever, right? Right.
Yeah.
And when she started talking about them babies leaving out the house, we had to go get them. I had to open the door and say, y'all get in this house. And she was like, where they at? I was like, here they come. So,
Mm-hmm.
I had to get in her world, made her feel comfortable in our home. So our home became her home, and this was her home. It was not our home. This was her home, and we had to make it convenient for her. And during this process, when I said the legal work, I called, you guys know Hope Funeral Home. I called Gwen, and I told her, I was like, look, I'll be bringing my mom here. What will I need? And if she passed here, I know we're going to take her to Wisconsin. And so she kind of coached me along, told me how much funds we'll need. The will, she said, the will to take care of the body after her despise. And the POA is for, living. So she told me everything I needed, the amount that we needed, and she was on the dime. Everything was on the dime, and everything went just like she said it would, as far as preparation was concerned. So those people that I dealt with, that was my village, and bringing mom here. And they helped a lot, and all the information they shared was very helpful. And as you guys know, mom, when she always wanted to go get the kids, and then there was times that she just got so frustrated, so I ended up buying her a baby doll.
Because she needed to feel like she was caring for the kids.
Exactly. Yes. And the baby was always there. And there was sometimes, some nights when she'd be like, that baby done ran out this room. And the baby is right there in the bed. And I'm like, come on, let's go in here and see. And then she's right there. She's like, I don't know how she snuck back in this bed.
But that's the beauty of it, is that you're able to give people information, because I think things like that is something that we don't talk about enough. We all, some of us don't even prepare well for living, more or less for after, because that day's gonna come. Like I said, I come from a family of 13, there's 8 of us left. And every time somebody passes away, it's such a big thing of what we're gonna do. And I'm like, come on, it shouldn't be that difficult. Go ahead.
And those are the things that we don't want to talk about. And we have to, even in our own family, in our own lives. My husband and I talk about it all the time. We tell our kids, the will is here, and if anything happened to me, call this person. She know everything. She know the combination to the safe. So, we have to have that person. I think a lot of times, even when it comes to Alzheimer's, I think the Black community is in denial. Or fear or embarrassment. Can I say that? I think a lot of us kind of get embarrassed when it comes to our loved one having that disease, because I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to share it. And then I finally said, you know what? Maybe it'll help somebody. And it helped me to be able to share it. And, I felt good about sharing it, because and behind the scenes, there was people that called and wanted to get help and advice and suggestions. And because of that, I was able to do that. And of course, C.O.L.A. Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing with the name, the Circle of Life, because it reminds you that this is a cycle that we all are going to experience and are a part of. We're just at different places of this wheel. A
Yeah.
few things, I love to take notes. So just in case our village didn't catch some of the nuggets,
Mm-hmm.
some things that stuck out. I know COLA is specific to assisting with Alzheimer's, um, or caring of someone with Alzheimer's. But I think like it goes along with the whole concept of the mind and mental health, and there's different levels of it and different ages of it. And a couple of things that stuck out to me when you talked about the mindset of the patient, I
Mm-hmm.
can hear it was even a language adjustment
Mm-hmm.
of how to address the situation. So you don't feel as if it's mom who's different. This is now me caring for the patient because this is in patient mode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the mindset I have to recognize. And then you even talked about as a caregiver, preparing for your own mindset change and becoming the star. Like you got to put on the stage
Mm-hmm.
for the patient because this is making them comfortable, like you said. And
Mm-hmm.
so I loved how you really pointed out to the community the levels of the mental health that it took for you to care. And I'm excited to hear how COLA prepares those seeking help with that portion of it, the mindset change.
So, what I do, like this, my last client, she was dealing with her mom, and her mom like burst out in public. I ain't got no money to pay for this. I don't have money for this. I don't have money for that. So her thing is, I can't take her anywhere, but I have to take her with me because I can't leave her at home. How do I handle this? And I told her, write on a card, like a business card, and with a Sharpie, dementia or Alzheimer's. And then when she act like that, kind of like hold up the card, mom can't see it, hold up the card so people know um,
Mhm.
that mom is having this issue because she have this disease or these symptoms from the disease. So that's one thing that I help with. I also coached with how to get the finances that you need, the Medicaid, if they're eligible for Medicaid and the spend down. I'm not an expert in it, but I learned a lot from doing it, what they have to do with the spend down. Contact
Yeah.
them because you never know if you're eligible or not. So
Mhm.
that was some of the things. And then she needed caregivers. So I kind of like kept a list of caregivers that I dealt with in my little bank. And then I was able to refer some people to her. Not that I'm an organization that does that, but I just had some people that may have been interested in assisting with that. But I wanted to share with you guys too before I forget. One of the hardest things that I had to do before I brought mom here. One of my coworkers, Annette, told me, she said, you're going to have to do a missing person flyer before your mom gets here
Mm.
so that if she leaves the house or if she gets lost, you have it right there in your file. She said, make about 50 copies, make about 50 copies. And that was the hardest thing I had to do. So I took her driver's license and got all the information off of it, took a current picture, put it on there, contact me, the police department, and information like that. Is that somebody in my background?
Yeah.
Photo bomber. But that was the hardest thing that I had to do, and with the whole thing.
Could you share with the village like what? Because we tend to underestimate like the emotion you have to think through in setting that flyer up in it, just that alone.
Oh my gosh, it was hard. To think that my mom could just walk out and be missing for days, hours, and may not even survive. But I had to say, well, I'd rather be do this now than to be sorry later.
Mhm.
In fact, I still have the flyers in the file, and I will be sharing those on our site as we get everything up and running. Things that we have to do in preparation, but it was a mental adjustment that I had to make to accept it. But it's something that we have to do, like preparing for the burial and preparing the will. All that stuff is hard when you know it's going to come to pass. So just to get your mental mindset, and of course, a lot of prayer,
Mhm. Yeah.
and praying that it don't happen. And that was one reason we got the security locks too, so that she wouldn't run away or she wouldn't, what they call. elopement to
Mhm.
the house.
Because they don't always know in their mind, they don't realize that they're not doing what's correct or what's supposed to be done. And I think, because we've dealt with, about having a mom here, and in the beginning, it was so much we went through, because sometimes she would start screaming, they trying to hurt me, and the neighbors, if they didn't know us, that
Mhm.
could be an issue. So you have to have information, because we had to call them because of the way mom was acting.
Mhm.
So once they got here, we was able to give them the document, and they said that way, whenever somebody called, they would know that if she did accidentally call the number, something what was going on, and then you don't have that problem. Too many people, I think, like you say, they're ashamed or embarrassed,
Mhm.
but now it's worse, because now you got to try to explain it, and you're emotional and you're upset, and you can't get a proper information, and it may look like something fishy is going on.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
have to cover your, especially in today's time, because there's so many, people that are doing things that's not right. You hear about so many people being mistreated and stuff. So you want to make sure that you have everything in order so you don't have that issue. And I think what you're doing is so needed,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
nobody, like to say, people, I've seen people with situations, and I'm like, why don't you just tell the person what's going on? Tell
Yeah.
the people that's looking at your mom or your brother or whatever the case may be, this is the situation. And then people be more understanding, but they just see you screaming at them. And I'm
Mhm.
like, so you're not going to deal with that? So
Mhm.
you can just holler at them. And I think a lot of people get frustrated when they take it out on that loved one, people who don't know what's going on. Now you got a whole situation.
Exactly, exactly. And like you said, call the police. My friend, her dad used to, when he got out the house, he was like, call the police. She kidnapped me. She won't let me go home. Stopping the school bus drivers, call the police. And those are situations that actually happen. In preparation for mom coming here, I even talked to Greta. I met with Greta one evening, and she told me what to expect as well. Even though our parents or our moms had different actions, or they reacted different to the disease. Her mom may have acted. I mean, some of the stories that she told me, thank God I didn't see that with mom, but some of it I did. And so each person is different. And the main thing for us as caregivers, we have to be patient. We have to
Mhm.
get in their world. And that way we can keep our own sanity and still away. You don't have to be right there all the time. Take some
Mhm.
time, go to another room, get your mind right, listen to some music, read a book, do something for yourself. And that's a lot of times we don't see that caregivers take time for themselves because they're always taking care of the patient. But you have to let go, let God, dance a little, sing a little, shout a little, holler, scream, do whatever you got to do just for your own sanity.
Mhm.
A lot of the caregivers too don't have the funds to go out, and that's one of the things that our organization want to do. We want to be able to pay for you to have a weekend off. Bring somebody
Mhm.
in the house to sit with mom while I go out to dinner, while I go to a movie. Go and do something for yourself. Like I said, a lot of people don't have the finances for that, and that's what we're here for, to help with that and prevention.
Mm.
Um, One of the things that we're going to do is go into the school system, because the main thing that we have is our health, right? And so it starts at an early age. You got to eat
Mhm.
right, you got to move, quit smoking or what have you, do heart health, and get enough rest. And we know that the numbers, let me see, we have about 5.8 million people that are living with Alzheimer's. In 2050, they're expecting 11 million people.
Mm.
Can you
Mhm.
imagine that? And if you think about our students, think about our children, our grandchildren, what do? They don't move. They're sitting in the room on their phone, and laying in the bed or whatever, but they're not
Mhm.
moving. They're not getting involved. They're not eating right. They're eating pizzas and all the stuff that's not good for them. And I think that's going to have a real bad impact on our community if we don't do anything about that now. So that's our goal, is to do something now. Get to these kids, get it in their head. Brain health is important to slow
Mm.
this disease down. And that's what we want to do.
I am excited about that component because, they say when one gets the blessing of going home and the homecoming going, there is a new life coming into this world. And I love that you guys are connecting that full circle from the Alpha and the Omega,
Yeah.
and showing the youth how to be proactive with mental health, with eating right and stuff. So that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
And I like it because one thing you said that I think is very important, and I think coming from when I was growing up, mental illness, people with cancer and sickness and illness, it was something that you only seen in the much older generation. But see, now we see a lot of things in the youth that we'd have never seen when we was coming up.
Gosh.
So even what you're doing, even though you're doing it more for those who are dealing with maybe the elderly parent or whatever, there's people who are younger that have to have the same type of care. They never grow older beyond the mentality of 7, 8, or maybe 10, 11, or maybe they have a trauma in a later stage when they're mid-20s, and now they're functioning almost like a kid again. So you still have to give them that same type of care. So
definitely. And I said I won't limit my caregiver coaching to just caregivers for Alzheimer's and dementia. I will reach out to those that are dealing with their own loved ones who have mental health issues, mental illness, because it's a lot. And then we have a lot of young people with the early onset of the mind declining. So yeah, we won't limit that. We'll reach out to everyone we can, and I'm going to get with our local officials, legislators, and we're going to impact our community. We're going to make a big impact in our community.
And I think so. I mean, just the name of it, Circle of Life Awareness. I think that right there is so impactful because, again, we grew up knowing about our elders and giving them that certain type of respect, but the youth now, it's almost a disconnect.
Yes.
And they're not learning and they're not understanding. So as they get older, they don't know to be in place to take care of Big Mama, or to make sure Pop's okay or whatever. We grew up knowing that was just the way it was. When your parents or your relatives get older, you want to take care of them, make sure they're okay. So to see somebody actually bringing the thought, you see these memes that put, if so and so was a person, this is what they would look like. Well, a circle of life awareness was a person. That's what you're it. You're showing what it would be in actuality. We can touch it, we can hear it, we can see it. So we see what happens as the youth, because they're going to get older. I don't know why people act like it's not going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Magic.
Yes. Back in the day when we were growing up, we were young. They called it the crazy disease, right? She done gone crazy. And so now the insurance companies put a name with it, which, now they can get some help with it. It was the crazy disease. They done gone crazy. But it was actually Alzheimer's dementia, the mind leaving the person. And so I'm just excited about what we're going to do in the community. Like I said, we're gonna impact the community, and we're gonna make a big difference, so our kids can live, right?
Yes.
Right.
My husband, I was like, we in trouble. Is we expecting them to take care of us? They want all our money, so they won't put us in a nursing home. We can hire.
That is, to me, the scariest part.
Yeah.
So I want to raise up a village too. Like you said, it takes a village of young people that understand that this can happen to my mom, this can happen to my grandma. And I tell my granddaughter, I was like, you have to take care of us. What you gonna do? Can't just take my money and run.
Even in the before part, like some people don't even know their grandparents. Like they don't spend time to know them. So then have the nerve to try to give them some type of quality of life. Like they don't know what they like, who they are.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. If we don't change the mindset today, if we don't get them right, where they won't even need the help from Alzheimer's, and hopefully we can stop them from getting it.
Something that sticks out to me is, I know we talked about, and I've heard it used in reference to an episode when they might be having an experience where they're yelling or they're wilding out, whatever it may be. Or some will call it a flare up, where they just have an experience or an episode. And you talk about being the star, the actor in their life, and getting on the stage. To me, it sounds like an opportunity to reconnect to that playfulness, and to remove all the stereotypes of life, and the crazy, the sane, whatever those definitions are, and just to step into that person's reality and make it comfortable. So that should be fun, I would think.
Yeah.
It's like being able to play again.
Yeah, I had to learn how to make it fun. Like sometimes when I get home from work, mom be sitting in the living room. I turn the TV on, turn on some music, and I start dancing. And she be patting her foot, and she be like, "Come on, Angie, dance! Come on and dance!" So you have to make it fun. You have to make it fun. So we had some good moments where we did make it fun. And come on, let's go out for a walk. If she sees something, like a lot of times, she's looking outside. Look at that man in that tree. I was like, woo, he's a tall man looking like a tree. Like the Bible says, I see a man and he looked like a tree. Or a tree looked like a man. And, times she wanted to go pick the pears off the tree. Ain't no pears back there. I'm like, okay, let's go. Take her back there. She got back there. She was like, ain't no pears on this.
But it's a thing. If you learn how to live inside their world, it makes your world less, frustrating.
Exactly.
You have to understand them. Like with mom, every time, cause when she first came, I would say, "Now, Greta, you know that mom will have these days, and when she do, I always put on the music that I know mom like, and it always calm her down, or I'll sing. Cause even now, sometimes I tell her, go talk to her, and she be like, "Yeah, you know you Sam Cooke, mom. I'm not Sam Cooke." She said, and I say, "Mom, I'm just Lorenzo." She said, "You Lorenzo, but you know you Sam Cooke too." So and I just go with it because her song is "A Change Gonna Come." She always want me to sing that song.
Yes.
Or and she liked the "In the Air" by George Collins. So I learned what she liked and what brings her calmness. So I put it on, and then she just chill out. And Greta be like, "Oh, so now she gonna fuss at me and then gonna laugh with you." But you have to learn not to take it personal and realize that this person has their own journey. They don't realize it. So you just love them, and the more you learn about them, the more you can assist them. And I think what's so great about what you're doing is that a lot of people don't understand, if you have a proper paperwork, then you can get more assistance and more help. But you can't just go at the last minute and say, "Oh, this is what they need. They need this man." Wait a minute, you haven't said nothing. We don't have a record. We don't have a history. We don't know what to do. So the more you accept what they're dealing with, the more you can explain it to get the proper things in place. So if you need it, it's already documented and you can just go with it.
Exactly. Got to get that diagnosis. We don't want to do it. With mom acting funny, I can't get no help. Well, have you been to the doctor? Have they ran any tests? So you have to get that diagnosis taken care of. And then, like you was saying, creating an atmosphere for your mother-in-law. Even on Sunday mornings, I put on YouTube, mom sitting there thinking she at church. So I'm like, "Come on, girl, let's go down here and take communion." I said, "Okay." I get some crackers and juice, and we take communion with the pastor, whoever's on TV that day. So, you have to get into the world and make a difference in your life and make a difference in your loved one's life.
Wow, that's so good. And for those who are just joining or who may come in later on, we are talking to Angie Batemon, the founder of C.O.L.A, Circle of Life Awareness. And she's been telling us all the avenues that you can take so that you can have a less stressful life when you're dealing with situations, or you're dealing with elderly parents or elderly relatives that may have some type of issue. The basis of it is you have to do the work for them because they're not able to do it themselves. So you're an extension of them. You speak for them. You advocate for them to make sure that they have the best, quality of life they can have.
And you had mentioned something too that you said sometimes that it frustrates you. You can get frustrated. Now, when my mom first came, now it kind of got to my husband when she was always accusing him of stealing her money, right? Don't mess with the money. No elderly person money. He got my money. He got stuff. Vincent, give me my money. And so we ended up buying some fake money from Amazon. So whenever the money went missing, here, get us to mama. The money you took.
Oh, that's smart. That's
She
smart.
said you took. So we had to give her the fake money and then just make sure she don't use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that we did and tips that I give to those that need it. I do want to share the baby. This is the brand new baby. So right, so this is she's still in the box, not the full box, but this is one of the babies. Her name is Ori, Aori. Got her from Amazon. She's like a lifelike baby.
Mm.
Got her net on her hair, but she's got some beautiful hair, some beautiful brown eyes.
Oh,
But that was she's actually like the twin of the one that I bought for my mom. I had bought two because I wanted one on standby in case she ripped that one up. I had here get a baby.
Mhm.
She went to the doctor. Now she's healed. So she was the one I had on standby, and she brought so much comfort and peace to my mom. So much
Mhm.
comfort and peace. Like the late night getting up and everything. Long as she had her baby, she was all right, and kind of kept her calm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
one thing that I'm loving about COLA is it sounds like it is reminding the community a message that God said. It like constantly keeps in my ears that you have all that you need and the show must go on. And you provide the village with like realistic, tangible solutions to things
Mhm.
that could be overwhelming for them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I have seen caregivers or those loving someone who has mental health issues. And as much as they love them, sometimes the embarrassment of it, the fear of it, and the just the unknown of dealing with it can make them react impatiently, and that can come across
Mhm.
angry, short, selfish, and the energy that person dealing with the mental illness feels. And
Hmm.
so I think a lot of times with caregivers, making sure that you realize the easy solutions that so you can feel empowered and
Hmm.
reminding yourself that, like you said, that self-care, there's things that you have to make sure are in place for yourself so you're also
Mhm.
healthy.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely, and it always keeps some good people on the side that you can talk to. You can open up to, cry to if you have to. You can share your story with them.
Right. And it has to be people that understand because some people from the outside they see one thing and they feel like, well, that's your mom, you should want to take care of them. But they don't see once you go inside the doors, they don't see the screaming or the sleepless nights or the times when you scared of, are they sick or they not sick? Because sometimes they can't express what's really going on.
Right.
So people just think that maybe you're mean, but it's not that. It's a lot you have to deal with. It's not as easy as it seems. And
Hmm.
then,
If
like
you
you
didn't sign up to be a nurse, you may not have a caregiver's heart to begin
Yeah,
with.
said,
exactly.
you want to know how to get this system. Like you say, it's very frustrating if you call the doctor and say this is what they need,
Hmm.
and then they say, well, we can't do that. Now you're frustrated because you don't know the protocol to get that medication.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
even with mom, we end up having the doctors come to the house because mom was like, no, I'm not going out, or sometimes she didn't feel well enough, so they would come and do the X-rays and stuff. And when the people came who had the right attitude, mom would let us know. Because if somebody came, she like, no, I don't want that person touching me. She don't want to cooperate. So you have to pick up on that and be sensitive and say, hey, you're not going to be able to come back because you're not doing what you're supposed to. We have to be able to say that and
Right.
don't feel like we're going to just let anybody come in. No, if you ain't doing right, you got to go.
That's right. That's right. And they know they can feel it. They can feel it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, they very, very aware of what's going on. Very aware.
There was time mom said, "You short with me," and so
Right.
I have to take a woosah moment and say, "Okay, Angie, it's not your world; it's your mom's world."
Mm.
So yeah, you have
Mhm.
to adjust. You have to adjust.
And time too, because you might have squeezed in 10 minutes to give them their food or whatever it might be in your day, but
Hmm.
it might need that they needed the 30 minutes from you. And
Exactly. Exactly. Your time is no longer your time.
And
Honestly.
something that I think that a lot of people may have missed too is that when you started dealing with this, it was right around when COVID was really very, very much. I mean, it was like you don't go here, you can't go there. So
Okay.
it's even more frustrating because you can't just go to the doctor and like they will tell if you bring mom to the doctor, you got to stay outside. So you know it's like well, but she can't speak for herself or she don't know how. So it was very frustrating. So for you to be able to deal with this and create a company out of it, I mean, you took a situation
Yeah.
and took it to that next level. So
Mhm.
that within itself is incredible because you didn't fold, instead you elevated and you went higher. So that's why I say this is something that I feel is God given. It wasn't something that you just said, "Hey, let me do." I
Mhm.
really feel like this is God given, so it's going to be blessed because the world need the village needed.
Yeah.
Our people need it. We need to know there are resources that we can do this, and we don't have to do it alone.
Yes, yes, yes. And that is so true. And thank you because I was just gonna sit on it for a little while longer. You pushed me. It's like, okay, get out this nest, girl. You better fly. And guess what? I'm spreading my wings.
And I'm so
Gonna be
excited
that
for
Phoenix bird. Hey, we
you.
got to do some stuff around here. And it's gonna take a village. And I'm gonna be right there with you guys too. Making
Hmm.
awareness all over the world.
Oh
All
yeah, definitely. Because I mean, we don't understand the power that we have when we unite, and it's just so. I mean, there's so many people that are in need, and
Mhm.
there's people who have the resources, but we have to find a way to connect so that everything works together. It may be somebody you know that can assist you, somebody I know that can assist the next person, but it's got to be that domino effect. You
It's
hit one and to fall over, and we all work together.
mhm.
Reach one, teach one. So um, I'm really excited, and that's why I kept saying, because I think we talked about this months ago.
We
I'm like,
did.
so
I
I keep
actually
thinking that.
started it back in October, this time last year, right?
Hmm.
And I'm
Yeah,
just really getting going.
yeah,
And
and but
God
that's
is already blessing.
yeah, and that's what I like about it because you have to keep at it, and people like who because I'm a visionary, so I can see things, and sometimes God won't give me the whole complete vision, but He'll give me what it takes to push that individual. And so
Mhm.
I just push him, and I don't know what he's doing or why, but I just like, look, I know it's something for you to do. Come on this show, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, you
So
pushed me, and I appreciate that.
because I mean, think about it. You're the founder of something that's going to be so great. This type of foundation is what years from now people will be talking about, and in politics and stuff and things. Because I think it's just that big.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
You're gonna be an advocate for the community. Oh
How
yeah.
Yeah.
can those that need the resource get involved, and how can those of us that want to serve and support the mission, how can we get involved?
Okay, you can get. I'm looking for my phone number. By calling me at, I give you my phone number. It's 404-449-5579, 404-449-5579. Reach out to me. We're going to do some support groups. We'll need assistance with the teaching at the schools. I want to do it at least once a week, but I want to impact more than just one school. I want the whole Clayton County. I want the whole Henry County. If we do once a week in a science class in the elementary school, we're going to do it. So we'll need volunteers to speak on that, and it's basically teaching them brain health, brain health.
Right.
Mhm. And as far as caregiving, if you know anybody that needs some support, they can just reach out to me by phone or email at circleoflifeawareness@yahoo.com. Circleoflifeawareness@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And our website is coming up. Should have that ready on Monday. And I'll share it with you guys then. I'll post it on my page as well.
Yeah. That website is the hardest thing to get together. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend. I was like, "You don't have to do this. I don't have time. I'll pay you to do it. Just do it."
So those are other ways that if you have a gift to also, and if you're in the village and have a gift and you want to serve and find a way, these organizations, these missions, we can get behind and we can share our gifts so
Mhm.
that way they can get their message out, whether it be on digital platform, flyers, any way that you have to serve, please reach out. In the chat, you will see you can reach Angie's number is 404-449-5579. Circle of Life Awareness yahoo.com. I was about to go real old school.
Yes, Circle of Life Awareness. So I'm happy for this opportunity, and I appreciate the both of you, Lorenzo, Ariana. I appreciate all that you've done and allow me to be a part of your team on this Saturday evening.
Yes, I'm excited to connect after.
Definitely.
Just to remind the village, one of the things that I heard that stuck out to me is that preparation piece. Just preparation piece. That's not kind of words. It's a piece, but it gives you peace. And what I heard from you, like being able to prepare the home before mom came or before you're about to be a caregiver, will help to ease some of the frustration. Being mentally prepared for what that beautiful ending looks like, what that homecoming going will be, and really being able to celebrate this transition in life and being prepared for what that new look is. When they do go back to child mentality, or when they take you back to the playground and to play and to go outside for a walk and imagine all the things out there in our world. So really preparation sticks out to me. So thank you.
Nice, nice. And you said it so well.
Yes, we're excited.
I need you as my spokesperson.
Look, that's what I'm saying. That's what we do. I mean, we connect, and it's funny because we have so many people that have good ideas, but they don't have the right people so they can connect.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think like even with what you're doing, once you get your website up and once you get your podcast going and all of that, because people probably feel better if you can come on in a non-judgmental environment and tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gives you comfort when other people say, "Oh yeah, I experienced that," because there's nothing wrong with days when you get frustrated because that's part of life. You get frustrated with everything. So something like this with so much preparation that needed to be done in order to do it effectively, you're gonna get frustrated. It has being frustrated has nothing to do with the love you have for your loved one.
Right, right.
So people need to be able to know that and to feel like, you get stressed because I can't get the resources. Well, now we have someone who can help you get the resources, who can walk you through it. Because sometimes it can be something really simple that you don't need to know. So when you call them, you can say one simple thing that can change everything and say, "Oh, this is what you're looking for."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So sometimes you can't get it because you're asking for the wrong thing and they don't connect it. So now you can show them, no, tell them this is what's going on, this is what they need, this is what you need. And I think that's going to help a lot of people.
Oh, yes. It's all in planning and preparation. And
Mm-hmm.
consistency. You have to be consistent with your caregiver. I mean, your loved one, actually. Do things at the same time every day. Otherwise, you throw them off, and that causes a lot of frustration too. Bringing too many people in the house, making up too much noise, all of that, brings about symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
frustration.
So you guys, and we talked about being aware of yourself because you may not be the caregiver type and just don't feel bad about it. You can still be a part of the preparation team, the knowledge building team, getting the paperwork in order. So you're helping the sibling or the family member who does take on the task of being the caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel bad about being honest and truthful, everybody in the village.
Right, right.
And like you say, it's something that affects the community.
Mm-hmm.
It I think if we go really far back in our communities, we grew up with the concept of, the younger ones sit in front of the elders and they learn from them and they get all the wisdom and knowledge. And then as they get older, in most countries, they really reverence their older people. They want to take care of them because they realize what they have received. So as a community, we got to get back to, like you say, the whole circle of life, the young one learning from the elders. So when they get in the position they need, they know, oh, I know this is what they like, or I know this is what they didn't like. And it stops a lot of confusion or bickering within the family because that person can say, look, I've been around them for the past umpteen years. I know what they like. I know what they don't like. So even with the planning, like you say, of the funeral, it's nobody want to talk about it, but it's going to happen. And I have seen so many services where there was not proper preparation, so
Mhm.
it was really horrible because so much was going on, and it's like, okay, yeah, the last service I went through, that thing was disastrous.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm and it was a young guy that, my nephew, when he passed away, he was young, but it's just, you could just tell it was all over the place. And it's like, you got to get, and that's why you got to prepare for it. You never know when tomorrow's going to come, and you're going to look up and say, oh, wow, what do I do? So prepare for it and have it set. And every so many years, go back and revisit that. Say, okay, now we're going to do this, or now we're going to do that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
don't know what your own trigger will be. That will be like,
right.
so much. It could be just putting the flyer together or the obituary. So have you prepared? You could take that whole day that it took to write those, couple sentences.
Hmm.
And that was, even though I knew what to expect, in January, God told me to start writing my mom's obituary, and that was hard too,
Hmm.
because I had to go um, through old obituaries to get information.
Hmm.
Like my grandma's obituary, to find out all of her sisters' real names, instead of Aunt May, what's your real name? So I had to go through a lot of, oh my gosh, it was so hard. My brother's obituary. Yeah. Yeah. So those things, I mean,
Yeah.
it weighs on you, and get teary eyed now, but yeah, it's part of life. It's
The
part of life.
journey, it's like it takes you back to the roots. Like
Yeah.
even if you were just, as you explained with the caregiver, having them on a routine, if
Mhm.
your lifestyle isn't in order right now and you take on that responsibility, you have to get in order and routine, and
Yes.
like it's a whole process of getting to the roots when we really
Mhm.
try to get real about preparation and life and
Mhm.
mental health. And
Mhm.
so I appreciate how COLA is allowing the village a resource to connect with other resources, because in this you've shared with us, this whole circle it
Mhm.
affects every person differently, and you never know how it'll play out.
Mhm. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And if you guys hear of anybody, if they call you, just give them my number, reach out, and I can
Yes,
assist
most
in any
definitely.
way I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Because and that's the way it works. We, as a village, we network.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we got to get back. And it's not so much as trying to say it's a black or white or race issue, but we have to realize that as a community, we have to learn how to help our own because we understand us.
Yes. Yes.
So we react differently in some situations. So we got to know how to speak and
Mm.
know that when you're eating, no matter where you come from or how you act, when you're in a position to care for someone, you have to present yourself as someone who know what they're doing
Exactly.
because they listening to you, they watching you, and you can't just go in like acting all kind of crazy and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
like you were saying, the information that you have to receive whenever you want to do obituary or whatever, I don't think a lot of people think it's uh, kind of hard to talk about, but
Mm-hmm.
I think you should talk about that way in advance while that person is still active and happy, and you can laugh and talk about it.
Yes.
Because when you're dealing with it and it's close to or during that time, it's so emotional. You miss stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to talk about it, and it's like it's just so. To me, I've always told people like when it comes time for my service, I'm gonna preach my own service. It already be pre-recorded. Just press play and go with it.
Exactly.
You
And
Exactly.
know,
the obituary could have like stories in it from that person. We always just read like the history, but like what if they
Right.
plugged in some stories in there, like when their
Yeah.
little sister
mhm,
played and got that scar on their knee?
Yes. The
mhm.
the sweet soul that person was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, and like you said, when you do it with enough time, you can really set it to where it looks nice. But
Mm-hmm.
when you throw it together, I don't care what nobody say. You can look at an obituary and say, "Oh yeah, they threw this together yesterday."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you don't understand. You want to show the proper respect for that person, so
Right.
that people can really get a visual of who they was.
Hmm. You
Mm-hmm.
talk about that stage because that's their homegoing stage. You prepare
Hmm.
for that show. And
Yeah.
just like Lisa, them coming into the home and that being their new stage, they're preparing for it. So,
Yeah.
Village, if you ain't got the value of preparation in today's message, play it back.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, yeah. So, but we're excited for your journey. I mean, like I said, I know that the a lot of people don't understand tragedy sometimes creates some of the best moments of our life
Mm-hmm.
because you either gonna deal with it in a negative way and push it. It pushes you down, or you realize, let me pull myself up out of this and make something good of it. So you took COVID, you took dealing with your mother and her illness, and with her passing, you took all of that, and now you created a foundation that others can lean on. This is something that people all over the world, all races, all ages, all colors, can take a bite of. So this is so good. This is circle of life awareness, which means that you thought about it a circle of life. You didn't try to make it a race thing or a elderly thing. It's a circle of life because we all live it and we all are involved in that circle.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we really appreciate the work you've done, what you put into it. I just think it's just 5 star.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank
Yes.
you so much. It's wonderful. Wonderful being a part. Wonderful to share the story, the journey.
Yes, and like I say, as you continue to grow, we're gonna bring you on more because I just see so much greatness in what you're doing.
I
You know,
can't wait to share.
Yes.
and it's a blessing. That God has given you something so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's so powerful. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Because this is the season to get back to the
Mhm.
realness, the reality of what's really matters. And it is the family, the village, and our minds, really.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Mine is a terrible thing to waste.
You know, we are
Right.
all locked up in this circle, and I'm thankful for I'm thankful.
Yes. So let's get that brain health together. Get some prevention techniques going on, and we're on our way
Definitely.
to a better world, a better society, a better
Mhm.
community. Mhm.
And again, we'll put the number up where you can contact Angie in regards to resources and such, because you never realize the benefit or the blessing of having someone who can walk you through circumstances and situations. You're doing it not only from wisdom and knowledge, but from personal experience. So
Yeah.
you got a passion for it. So that definitely is, it's wonderful. And you said that the email address was circle of life awareness at yahoo.com.
Correct.
Okay. Again, that's circle of life awareness at yahoo.com. And of course, you can always reach out to any one of us as well, and we can make sure we connect you. So we just want the village to realize that no matter what you're going through, you can always come out of it shining. No matter what's happening in your life, take the good from it. Accentuate the what to say, eliminate the negative, accentuate the positive,
Yes.
and that's what you have done with this by creating C.O.L.A Circle of Life Awareness. We are ecstatic and excited for you. We're thankful. I know there's no limit to what you're doing, and I just want you to know that it's kudos to you for doing what you've done. A lot of people, they turn their back on their elderly. A lot of people are in nursing homes because someone did not want to, and not because they didn't have the resources, because they just didn't want the headache or they didn't want to be bothered.
Hmm.
So for you to do that, that means that God has put something special in you that you would take and say, let me put my life on pause to take care of the one that gave me life. That's a
Yes.
blessing.
Yes. Yes. And it was a blessing to have her in our home.
Hmm.
This her house. We was in her house when we going home. Y'all going home tonight?
Right.
Yes. It's a pleasure to be on your show, and look forward to bringing some clarity to different ones, caregivers, and bringing some prevention to the neighborhood.
Definitely, definitely. Well, we appreciate you. We thank you. We love you. Like I said, you're a friend, you're family, you're pastor. I know that if I ever need you, I can just call on you and my
Yes,
brother Vincent. So that right there is just good. So if the village have not realized it, this is a genuine person. This is not someone you can run across every day. So we appreciate your spirit, your love, and your passion and your transparency in what you're doing, because that's what's needed in order to get the help, is to be transparent so people can see what you need in order to give you what you need.
Exactly.
God is so good. You said it's not somebody you'll run across every day, but the beauty in God is like, Angie, you will find Pastor Angie anywhere. And you'll be like, wow, I just needed to see you. I needed your energy. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's golden. Yeah.
Thank you.
You won't
Thank
find
you.
her everywhere, but
Yeah.
she will be anywhere.
You know, I run
Wherever
into
you
you
be.
all the time. We're like, hey. Yeah, live life, enjoy life, have fun.
Mhm.
And she's
Yes.
always
Do all
ready to
that you
serve. I
can do
love it.
and be all that you can be.
Mhm.
Mm.
Definitely. Well, it's been a pleasure. Again, we definitely enjoy everything that you bring to the table. The village is excited to have you as part of the family, and as you continue to grow and glow, we will be there cheering you on all the way. And anything we can do to assist or help, we will. Anytime you want to come on and just say, "Hey, look, I want to show where we at now," let us know. And if we
Yeah.
have to even create a special time for you, we would do that. So we will always make sure you get as much and plenty exposure to the village for what you're doing.
Thank you. Blessings to you both. Thank you. It takes a village. Love you guys.
All right, love you too, Pastor.
All right. God bless.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
All right, village, we have had a wonderful day. We have just, just full because
Yeah. Great nugget.
independent circle of life is something that everybody needs to tap into and reach out if you need assistance or whatever. Reach out to any one of us, and we will definitely make sure that you get the information you need. We're getting ready to leave now. We'll see y'all back in a couple of weeks. Again, like I said, we've had a wonderful day. We appreciate and thank our guests for coming and just sharing all the wisdom, knowledge, and nuggets of Circle of Life awareness. We are so excited. So, Ariana?
Yes, thank you as always, you guys, for joining us. We pray that you have a blessed week, and until next time, we send you many blessings. And always remember, you are part of the village, so find a way to uplift someone else and to take time for yourself.
Remember, this is Lorenzo Evans and Ariana Turner. It Takes a Village podcast, and we're here just to simply bring back the village concept. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see y'all next time.